Greetings, divine seekers of the unknown. Blessings in the light. This morning, as these higher dimensional waves and frequencies came flowing into the field, activating the DNA, many new codes, information, and experiences were activated through this vessel, which I'm going to do my best to transmit to all of you here now, today, as I traveled in between worlds and journeyed fully into the void, fully conscious. This information and energy channeled from my highest self, from source, through this awakened awareness. So the energy of the void, what we call the void, which is being dressed up with many creative names such as 0 point, or no time, or timelessness, or the unknowable mind, the pure mind. This is what we may call the original state of stillness, that all sound springs forth from, all form rises out of, the void, the emptiness. It brought me back to the time of training in the temples and monastery of the Zen Buddhists. In the late 80s and 90s, I spent several years training with 4 different Zen masters, Roshi, Sensei. The Roshi and Senseis, like master, teacher, guide, just like guru, the title we give to the teacher or leader of a lineage. We would train in the temple, doing our Zazen practice. Now Zen, Chan in China, Zen Buddhism, Chan Buddhism, Chan in Chinese, mean meditation. A lot of times you hear people say, I practice Zen meditation. That would be like saying, I practice meditation. We say Zazen, Za sitting meditation. Soi Zen, if you play the shakuhachi, that's blowing meditation. So we would sit in Zazen, then do walking practice, we call Kin Hin, then sit again, Zazen, and then we would do the chanting of one of the most famous sutras from Kuan Yin, called Avalokitesvara in Sanskrit in India. From the Mahayana school, we call the sutras, which are ancient texts in the Hindu, Buddhist, or Jainism. These are the ancient religions of India. So the sutras were the sacred texts, either ancient or medieval Indian texts. One of the most famous or popular sutras in Mahayana Buddhism, the Heart Sutra, the heart of the perfection of wisdom. And part of it was the concept of form is empty, emptiness is form, which we call shunyata, shunyata in Sanskrit, meaning emptiness. That's Sunyata, which in the doctrines we would say ultimately or intrinsically, all phenomena are shunyata, empty of an unchanging essence, that all things in the true state is empty, emptiness. And all form manifests out of the stillness, the emptiness, the void. And we come up with concepts to point to this void. All the koans, the Koan, in the Rinzai sect school of Zen Buddhism would use these koans. They're a type of riddle that the Zen masters conjured up. They created to help assist and guide the student or the practitioner to the truth. We say the truth that is beyond words, that is beyond concepts, usually in a form of a story, a dialogue, a question, or statement, which leads the practitioner in the practice. They would meditate with the koan. For instance, one koan, what is the sound of one hand clapping? Obviously, one hand cannot clap, so it's the practice of experiencing that soundless sound that emanates from the void, from the stillness. For example, we have a gong, a drum, a bell that sits there with this empty space within it. As it sits there still, it's totally silent. And the Zen teacher may say, when you ring the gong, or the bell, or the drum, beat the drum, the sound emanates from that space. And where does that sound go when that instrument comes to rest? It returns to that still space, that silence. The power is in the silence. Just like you have a cup, a teacup. It's empty, sitting there. You fill it with the tea. Then you resolve it by drinking it, releasing the cup, returning it to its empty state, and fill it back up again to drink it. You cannot fill a full cup. You must empty it first to fill it again. And this is the practice of meditation. Emptying, 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 letting go, letting go, letting go, until we remember or return to that innocence, that purity of our pure awareness, our original mind. So we came up with concepts, the consciousness of man connecting to source, came up with concepts as best as we could, using words such as pure awareness, the pure mind, the pure land. So what is pure? Purity. It is clear. It is clarity. Clearness, which is void, which is emptiness. And the mind, when it contemplates the void or the no-thingness, it may go into fear because there is nothing to grasp. There's nothing to hold on to. It may be scary to the mind that is attached to forms as we journey into the formless, as we contemplate that total nothingness. But in this contemplation, we realize the beauty of that space, the space that holds all things, that sacred space, the divine emptiness, the divine feminine. We feel it, we experience it, but we know it is beyond all words, all concepts. And this infinite space contains the whole universe. It holds all the stars and galaxies and planets and all life. Without that space, the beautiful flower cannot bloom and blossom. All the beauty is contained and held within that infinite, eternal space. So that is the great beauty that we experience when we let go, when we release all attachments to form, to object. I will be doing a Dharma talk soon on one of the most famous koans. Does a dog have Buddha nature? The Zen master replied, Mu, M-U, which has been translated into English as not a thing. What is this not a thing, this no-thingness? This is why we sit in meditation, to travel or to return or to experience the void, the stillness, the emptiness, fully conscious. We all journey there every night when we sleep. Modern psychologists call it the unconscious mind. We say the pure mind. But the problem arises in the mind of man when we realize we go unconscious. We don't experience it with our waking conscious mind. And that's the purpose, one of the purposes of meditative practices, to go into that void, to confront it, to experience it, not in a type of battle, but in a surrender and a letting go of the programming, of the concepts. We use the concepts as guides. The teachers guide us until we go through and through and through and break through the veil that has been built over time through the space-time continuum to create what we call reality. But truth is beyond what we call reality. It is the true state, the true mind, the true bliss. We could say the clear light of bliss, or the clear truth, the pure truth. And this is where we are traveling as a collective through what some may be calling the event energies in these final days of the revelation, all things being revealed through this temporary state, this temporary mind, into the eternal, the infinite self, the infinite mind, merging heaven and earth. The kingdom of heaven was within, we say, the still point, but it is the pointless point. Sometimes the mind may misinterpret the frequencies, the codes, but that's okay. As we travel through the non-judgment, the non-attachment, all these things will become clear. They will be revealed. We do our best not to take anything too seriously and not become attached to anything, any concepts. Not that the concepts or the codes or the manifestation are bad or evil, any of this nonsense, but they can be a hindrance to the experience, the full experience of the eternal, of the infinite. So in the Heart Sutra of Kuan Yin, Avalokitesvara, it states that Avalokitesvara, the Bodhisattva of compassion, clearly saw that the 5 skandhas are shunyata, And what are the skandhas? The skandhas are Sanskrit for the senses, our sensory perception. The eyes, the ears, the nose, the tongue, the body, the mind. We taste, touch, feel, smell, see through the senses. That the senses that we experience this reality are intrinsically empty. They are fundamentally void of all things. And it is through that emptiness that these codes, this information, this energy, this frequency is transmitted through our sensory perception to our brain, through the nervous system, for our consciousness to experience in the crystal palace, the sacred temple, in the center of the brain. So the question of the Zen master when they say, what is your face before your parents were born? Meaning, what were you before existence, before time and space? The original mind. That's what they would say. We identify and become attached to what we experience with the five senses and the sixth sense. So they would say, what are you with no eyes or ears or nose or tongue or body or mind? You still exist. The I am presence that's here now is still in existence. But what is this? Can you bring that experience into this realm, into this dream within a dream? That is what the teachers may call awakening. That is the non-physical merging with the physical. That is heaven on earth. So we may experience this in many different ways. And when we sit in the Zazen, which is sitting meditation, when we practice, I should say, Zazen, if you sit on the floor, on the cushion, or in the chair with the spine gently straight and breathe deep and slowly in and out the nose, filling the body with the sacred chi and oxygen, the mind becomes totally still, the body becomes totally still, and with it, the spirit is totally still. We transform into mountain, into dragon, and swallow the whole universe, meaning we realize that I am here now is eternity, is the whole universe. There is no separation. It is part of the manifestation, part of the programming, part of Maya, the illusion, or what people call the matrix. La Matrica, the divine waters, manifesting the physical waters and physical experience. With that, we will start our first transmission today. Now, with some of these transmissions, I ask you, divine conscious being here now listening, let's do our best not to get attached to times and dates. Many Lightworkers, Starseeds, Wayshowers use dates as anchor points. If we had no time or dates, we say, well, sometime in the future, it wouldn't have the effect and the power that the words may induce or produce within the mind of man. And by man, I mean obviously human, men and women. With these words, through these transmissions, they're encoded with activations, with light codes, with symbols, with synchronicities. So we always say, take what resonates and leave the rest behind. And let's do our best not to get attached or get in conflict. This is not about fear. Fear is of the false. It is of the simulated reality, of the illusion. All of us know now that only love is real, that we are in unity consciousness. So these times and dates and symbols and synchronicities are anchor points through the time-space continuum to assist life, humanity, awareness, to anchor into the 3D manifestation, to rise up through this ascension process and bridge heaven and earth. And we utilize these symbols, synchronicities, dates as tools, just like our spiritual instruments, the gong, the bell, the incense, the crystals, whatever tools that are guided to us from our higher self and our teams, our spirit guides. And then we let them go when they're no longer needed or necessary for our ascension. But for now, we begin our first transmission today from Divine Sistar of the Light, Aurora Athena Ash, and Joanna Faye, the event climax of the 12th hour. And to clarify before we begin, the event obviously being the energetic waves that we are creating with our love light, our spirit essence, as these waves are connecting to the central sun and to all suns in this realm, as we're rising up in these energies, these frequencies, these resonances. And the 12th hour being that we're at full fruition, full activation. We're at the precipice of the great awakening, many call it, which is basically the awakening of the collective. Many individuals awakened in the past, many individual ascensions, many individual enlightenments, awakenings. But what we are all seeing now and experiencing is the awakening of the collective human consciousness. And we're at the tipping point of what is being called the quantum leap of consciousness, meaning the leap from form into emptiness, back into form, fully conscious, fully awake, what Paramahansa Yogananda would call eternal bliss consciousness, because it is that sacred space, that sacred emptiness, that divine void that is the bliss that we are feeling now coursing through our bodies and through every atom, every star, every soul. Aho! Star family, our angelic galactic brothers and sisters, refer to we lightworkers, grid workers, and gate workers as Gaia's spiritual teachers, born from her divine womb. And they express that the 12th hour of Gaia's arc of ascension is soon upon us in the eternal now. This means, dear hearts, that the planetary body of Gaia has been flowing mighty shifts for a few months of local linear time of the now, and the message from Star Family is that the Earth shifted into the 11th hour on the 11-11-11 gateway, the 11th day of the 11th month in 2011. This paved our way for another very significant shift to start to move into the 12th hour on the June solstice 2019. These 12th hour gateways symbolize the stages of planetary ascension that we are currently in, and this 12th hour understanding translate into the Earth plane through the local space-time frame. For example, Star Family refers to an allegorical understanding of a clock, with both hands pointing to 12. At the 12th hand position on the clock is Gaia's planetary ascension true north, so to speak. And how one needs to look at it is a clock striking 12 or chiming 12 times within this moment of the 12th hour. And this is how it translates through this earthly time expression, with each chime layering in another level of higher dimensional light into Gaia's light grid. From Star Family's perspective, the 12th hour is what many call the event, solar flash, or love wave. As we know, this love wave climax is to hit the planet in the now, and we are in the flow of it now as this love wave comes in, progresses, layering another level of higher dimensional light through to the 12 chimes until the 12th stroke of the 12th hour solar flash, in which the moment of the event will be seen and felt by all of humanity. And again, side note from myself, no one knows the exact date or time when this will occur. We know we are close, we're at the precipice. And I know it may seem like it's a far-off distance and abyss, but like Zen Master Sensei Ogoi would say, nothing is as it seems, nor is it otherwise. And that a hair's width is 1,000,000 miles, meaning we're either here or we're there. There truly is no distance but in the mind and the false self that experiences this separation. So we go with the flow and take in these energies, and we use the human calendrical time to assist humanity to experience, to realize, to awakening to these higher energies, these higher frequencies that are culminating to assist all life in this quantum leap of consciousness. Back to the transmission as a vibrational moment of planet-wide collective clarity and a mass heart-opening awareness that will become tangible, visible, palpable around the whole Earth. This is in relation to what some call a flashpoint or solar flash, also described by Star Family metaphorically as a standing wave event, when all the layerings of light frequencies come into a particular harmonic format, ready to receive the ascension pulse from galactic center in full coherence. From that moment of the 12th chime on the 12th hour, Earth's natural ascension unfoldment blossoming is completely unshakable, beyond the influence or reach of any negative energies of a distorted vibration. This means when the solar flash has happened, this kickstarts full ascension for the unawakened community, which means negative energies cannot project the continued procrastination towards Gaia's and humanity's ascension, or what we may call freedom from the construct of the simulated reality. It will then start to flow like the endless sea, so feel into each chime of the 12th hour like a tap on a bell. There's the initial ringing tone, then the reverberation of that tone as it expands from the bell, and that each of these chimes doesn't diminish but widens and softens, settling into the Earth's energy field, orienting the planet and collective's vibrational field into incrementally strengthened harmonic coherence, each chime building on the previous one, bit by bit. So in this building sequence, Star Family said the second chime came through the peak of the Lion's Gate on the last 8/8, August 8th, 2019. The third chime came through the 9/9, 2019 gateway, with short integration phases between them, and now a longer integration phase through to the December 3rd to 4th ding. While there was a major distorted red energy removal mission that was underway through the 11/11 gateway 2019, now this energy removal has been completed. The way was cleared for the 4th chime of this 12th hour to come through, initiating through to the 12/12 2019. The 4th ding was peaking into the December solstice of the 21st December 2019, then culminating into a massive shift that took place on January 12th, 2020 this year. Now this trinary 12 sequence was heightened through two primary or particular planetary conjunctions that took place on December 12th and January 12th, Jupiter-Saturn conjunction and Saturn-Pluto conjunction, respectively, wrapped around the solstice alignment. Now, because 2020 is a 4, this 4 energy flowed in on the vibration of the 4th chime and will continue to gain momentum on more planetary alignments and planetary node points throughout the rest of the year, especially on the solstice and equinoxes. We are being guided by Star Family to say that the 5th ding of the 12th hour will accumulate around this arc through to February 20th, 2020, with the transit on the 15th, as there is a Neptune-Venus conjunct energies through to the 27th of February. And on February 20th, Star Galactic Family have been saying the completion of the 5th ding is coming through on high Venus love vibrations on February 20th, flowing on the back of Valentine's Day on the 14th of February. And there's an aspect between Neptune and Jupiter on February 20th. Now let's look at why this 5th ding could come in on this alignment. While Neptune has a special relationship to Venus, it's like a higher dimensional Venus vibration, flowing 7th and 8th vibration between the two bodies. So rounding out the 5th ding with Jupiter's vibration coming in through Neptune's assistance on the Venus arc, the 5th ding 2020 will be a very beautiful, much softer ding than the 4th ding on 2019 in terms of the planetary support alignments and catalysts. The rest of the 8 out of the 12 dings will continue to flow through the rest of this year on the powerful planetary alignment nodes, equinoxes, and solstices. Example, the 6th ding will accumulate around the spring equinox, flowing into 21 June 2020, where there will be an annular solar eclipse, bringing in the 7th ding. And towards the end of June, there will be a ring of light or a ring of fire eclipse in 2020. And it's a very special one to anchor in the 8th ding, moving to the 8th ding vibration to accumulate on the 8th month of the 8/8 Lion's Gate, flowing off the back of the heliacal rise of Sirius, kickstarting the Great Cycle. For example, star families are teaching us that later in the year of 2020, Saturn and Jupiter form a biquintal. A biquintal is where the aspects of the planets move their positions and form twice the fifth part of a great circle apart, or at an angle of 144 degrees. And with Saturn and Jupiter forming a biquintal, 144 angle or angels to the true node, this forms a very strong energetic catalyst. Both biquintals happen in November this year, leading into the huge December alignments, the 12-12 gateway, followed by a total solar eclipse on December 14th. Then the solstice plus Jupiter-Saturn great conjunction at 0 degrees Aquarius, and the Alpha Omega completion into the New Age, or the Golden Age. And when the Golden Circle ecliptic is opened on the 12th day of the 12th hour, this opening paves the way for the fifth dimension energies on Earth to flow to all on a mass collective level, not just the Lightworkers and Starseeds, all. This opens the way for the 13-dimension Ascension light to spiral in to this Earth field, anchoring in Gaia's heart, as it also involves true North in relation to Polaris and the North Central Pole and the celestial equator. For cultures on Earth with different calendars, the galactic light pulses flow through different numeric translations, but the sequence base is the same behind all Earth clocks, stepping down the 27 to 72 central creation code of this galaxy. This 13D ascension light, or catalyst of the 12 ding on the 12th hour, love wave, the event. Star families explain the event must come through a powerful converge first, because it needs that level of heart opening in the collective to expand and to open the way for mass landings of our starships. When this happens, our starships can decloak and star family can integrate with humanity in unity, love, and oneness. We can see that with the possibility, and we say possibility, depending on probable timelines, the 12th ding of the 12th hour could possibly come to a climax around December 2020 winter solstice that brings in the event solar flash, moving into 2021 that equals 5, as the number 5 in numerology is the unity, unified consciousness vibration, and therefore can be seen, felt as sacred union of masculine and feminine, heaven and earth, coming together, the Vesica Pisces. And when we look at the quintile, that is the 5-point aspect. In astrology, it is 72 degrees. So again, the number 5 of 2021 is a direct expression of the 27-72 codes and the sublime triangle phi ratio, which means if all flows in the correct sequence throughout this year, 2021 could possibly see the full positive integration of our galactic family on a collective scale, and positive disclosure can come into fruition within the vibration of love by the end of 2020 and the flash or the love wave into 2021. This year, 2020 shifts will truly be the year where we truly start to move through into the golden age. So let us focus our intent of love to usher in the 12 dings or chimes, to come through into fruition throughout this year and hold the intent of the frequency of love vibration and accumulation of this flow, and the possible event to take place at the end of 2020 on the final alignment winter solstice in accordance with the divine plan. Let's keep our focus or intent to stay heart-centered throughout the rest of this year as the great shifts and dings are taking place, as we flow into the golden age. So, dear hearts, please take what resonates with this information and leave what doesn't. Then it doesn't serve you in the moment, as all is love. Stay heart-centered and not in judgment. Stay in neutrality and oneness. All are peace and love, written by Aurora Athena Ashtar Kare and Joanna Fay. And with this, a sacred chime, the ding, the sacred gong. Namaste. Today from Judith Cusel, and this image for today's video is from Felix Diaz. and it's the sacred double spiral DNA, the Kundalini, the Leo, the Lion energies, and the 3 stars of Orion encoded into the 3 pyramids, the belt of Orion, and then we have the sacred geometry of the flower of life encoded in there over the earth symbolism. So from Judith Kusel, intense and beautiful energy upgrades where we now step out of the old Adam and old Eve and into the higher Adam Kadmon bodies where more strands of DNA activated in a much higher crystalline form. I was watching a video on the last remaining druid who belongs to a secret order who served humanity silently for thousands of years. The most poignant part came when he said, "I am the last." He explained how during the intense bombardment from asteroids, huge civilizations were wiped out, and how they took it upon themselves to go to those who survived and then would teach them all they knew. It is then that I understood that humanity stands before such a crucial moment again, but this time so many volunteer lightworkers incarnated, who took it upon themselves to assist humankind through the dramatic upheavals and changes to come. They will stand as beacons of light and literally lift humanity through the dimensional shift, and are already doing so. They do this without fanfare. They serve without ego, as they always have. A master cannot show the way if he or she has not gone through the fires of purification themselves. For only when one has been through the fires and been tested to the very core can one lead others. From JudithKusel.com. Today from the Zolkin Times. Kin 212, 212, Red Overtone Skywalker. Overtone is the name for the number 5, and its key words are empower, command, and radiate. The gear changes in any wave spell are linked by the color of the first day. So as this is the red moon wave spell and the first day is red, then the 5th, 9th, and last day are the same color. These gear changes shift the energy of the wave spell. The first day begins the journey. Today, the 5th day marks the point where the energy noticeably increases. The 9th day is the high gear, and the last day marks the end. Today, we can all make use of this gear shift and harness that energy. This is why it is an empowering number. So here's a high 5 to you folks. Today is Red Skywalker, and it represents wakefulness, space, and exploring. An empowered Skywalker is quite a force to be reckoned with, but in a good way. Skywalker always entices us to go exploring, to think outside the box, and be a little unconventional. Today we can all shapeshift into Skywalkers and enjoy the feeling of empowerment through our brave adventures. The guide today is the Red Dragon, which symbolizes birth, nurturing, and being. It is a very interesting day with empowering adventures led by a dragon. This suggests that we are being encouraged to do something new and to feel nurtured by that decision. From Christina Papagiorgio, Red Overtone Skywalker, Kin 213, 10 February 2020. 10/2/2020 equal 1, 2, 2, 2 equal 1, 2, 4 equals 7. 10 manifestation, leadership, authority. 1 new beginnings, initiation, birth. 7 magic, mystic, spiritual solitude. Kin 213 equals 6. Heaven, Christ consciousness, harmony, love, romance. A radiant manifestation portal of infinite expansion through the new birth, the birth of the new earth. Day 5 in the red moon wave spell of the goddess, who is enhancing our intuition and sensitivity as we purify our vessels in order to find our flow. Today we are exploring how to expand our reality through infinite radiance and commanding it into being, opening the floodgates for greater flow. The Leo full moon portal is highlighting this radiance of stepping up into greater expansion and authority. Tone of creation, overtone, tone 5 in the spiritual realm, action commands, power empowers, essence radiance. The emphasis is on empowerment and radiance through the action of command. Number 5 represents the center, core purpose, foundation, and central intent. It is the center of the wheel from which all the spokes emanate. This is the phase where the energy of creation returns to the center and then radiates outwards. Overtones command the unbounded. They order it to be, and so it becomes. Their power radiates from their soul essence through a pure connection to Source. This is the true source of unlimited power. Today we are empowering our authority through new leadership opportunities. The overtone tone aligns beautifully with today's hidden superpower, the yellow star, which wants to sparkle and glow. And so mote it be, precious hearts, a brilliant day for dreaming, astral traveling, time traveling, and skywalking. Tune in and align with the endless cosmic flow. It is time to take command of your life and expand it into your unlimited avenues for expansion of your soul's desires and purpose. Today's question is, how can I birth a greater, more empowered and radiant version of my expanded self through my soul's desires and greater purpose? Divine blessings for exploring and expanding into endless realms of possibility today. In Icke Alakin, Christina White, Magnetic World Bridger, Kin 66. Kin 213, Red Overtone Skywalker. I must make a correction. I believe I said 212 earlier. With the spaciousness of the emptiness coming in. That's part of this shifting from linear time to non-linear, or from physical into spatial, physical into non-physical. So Kin 213, Red Overtone Skywalker. The mantra, the code for today is, I empower in order to explore. Commanding wakefulness, I seal the output of space. With the overtone tone of radiance, I am guided by the power of birth. There we have it, beloved beings of light. I know with the Skywalker walking the great skies, the great celestial beings, I really felt that today, especially early in the morning, around sunrise, as I was navigating in between worlds and between realms, activating the lucid dreaming and the very vivid, vibrant, non-physical dream time, the dream within the dream, fully activated, becoming conscious of the unconscious. Let us know in the comments below what you're experiencing, what you're seeing, what you're feeling, your visions, what you see for the new earth shining through, your activations, your codes. And if you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe by clicking the subscribe button below and the little bell next to subscribe to get notifications on future uploads and downloads. So I'd like to thank all of you for joining us today, myself and our team, in multi-dimensions, as infinite multi-dimensional beings of light. And I appreciate all of your support, your kindness, your joy, your love, and your beautiful comments. Have an amazing and beautiful Stargate portal activation. I love you all. Namaste.